Take one. That was quite loud. Welcome to this brand new channel. My name is James Carson and I'm an actor from Australia, and I want to welcome you here. Thank you so much for being here, being a part of this journey where it's starting from the very beginning. And if I ever look down, it's just because I got notes here, but welcome to Q James. And what this channel is all about is about sharing the raw and real journey of myself in becoming an established actor. And it is my intention to share the behind the scenes, the stories, the do's, the don'ts, the lessons, the wins, the fails, and everything in between on my hopeful potential journey to being established, to being consistently working as much as possible as an actor. And this is all going to be in one take, the first take, very non-film world, where it is all just raw, real, and unfiltered in the moment, to share the realities of what it can be like pursuing this career for myself, sharing it with you. And I have key intentions that I'd love to share with you as to why this exists, why I've started this, and what the purpose of it is, in no particular order. First and foremost, I'd love for this to become basically a chapter by chapter of the whole journey in getting to a certain strong position in acting in the industry, first and foremost. The second thing is just sharing the real realities of what goes into, or what can go into, going down this path and pursuing this industry, and the things to look out for, the things that can come up, the different guidelines or things that got to be followed whenever you're auditioning or whatever it might be. It's just showing you if anyone's interested. Let's say there's someone who's just genuinely curious about this kind of work. Maybe you're someone who is an established actor, or maybe you're someone who you're currently working, or you're working to be more recognized or more booked, whatever it might be, or you're someone who is just wanting to start out or interested in starting out. The whole purpose of this is to share what this can be like, even helpful tips and resources of things that I've learnt along the journey, and I'll share a bit more about my journey as we go along. But the other key intention is to just show just the realness around behind the screen of like what goes into a glorious attempt to get to a point where I'm consistently acting in film and TV. And that being said, finally as well, additionally, this has been a goal since I've been a young child to some degree, and I'll share more about that in later videos. But the key thing in sharing this is it may even inspire you to go after your own goals in whatever they might be. There may be this massive thing that you're not sure how to get there, you're not sure what to do or what the first step is, but you just want to have a crack, have a go, really get stuck into it, really take a leap, and hopefully this can inspire and help you to do the same. I think that would be wonderful as well. Now, coming back to who I am. My name is James Carson, and I'm an Australian in Australia, and I live in the beautiful Northern Rivers just south of Queensland on the eastern side of Australia. I grew up in country western Queensland on a farming property that had cattle, sheep, crops, all these different things, and grew up working on the land. Was taught school of the air with my mum for a number of years, and went to school in the town, and then went to school on the Gold Coast. After graduating, I had a really bit of a dodgy couple of years where I was drinking and I was overweight and I was in a rough spot. Then I slowly unraveled all of that, got into personal development, got into bettering myself, got myself onto the straight and level. Then I was pursuing the corporate jobs, a couple of different jobs because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But this industry was still lingering in the background. I didn't really acknowledge it during this time, but it was still there. But went through different jobs, was unhappy. I just knew I had more to give. I knew I had something else that I wanted to provide, that I wanted to give the world, or for me to be able to bring through. And time progressed, and I left the final corporate role that I ever had. That was a very unhappy job. I was very unhappy in that job. Started coaching, health coaching, mentoring people, started posting content that started to become a big part of what I am and what I did. And there's still a little part of that where I'm posting content like this right now, obviously. And I also got into the realm of speaking on health and wellness and all these different things. And then acting started to really come into the big picture quite strongly as well. And to the point where in 2023 is when I fully like, okay, I'm letting go of coaching. I'm going fully into acting and just giving it a red hot crack. Okay. Now, the actual acting dream, and I'd love to share this with you just so you have a bit of an idea. When I was probably in about grade 2 or 3, even when I was really young, I had this little part of me that like wanted to perform. I used to dance in front of the mirror to songs and play air guitar and pretend like I was a performer and all this different kind of thing. And I used to do that in secret. One day my mum caught me and it was incredibly embarrassing and I never did it again after that. But as years progressed, one year at state school, there was a musical called Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. And I remember when the auditions were coming up, I so badly wanted to be the lead role and sing and perform and just be in front of everyone and really give it my all, but I just did not have the courage. I did not think that it was the cool thing to do. I did not think I had what it takes or whatever it might have been. Even during that time, I even just tested myself. I was like, can I sing? Can I give it a go? And I used to practice singing when I was riding my motorbike on the farm because I knew that no one could hear me. And I got a smaller role, a little background role in that musical, and that was really cool. And time progressed, and I didn't think much of it as time went on because I didn't think it could be part of my journey. I didn't think that was going to be me. Then approximately many years on, when I was doing this dodgy couple of years after school, 2011, I gave it another go. I knew of someone who was working with a talent agency. I went out to the talent agency. They charged me an arm and a leg for a bunch of photos. They set up a profile. Nothing came of it. No jobs. They happily took my money. I think back then there was more dodgy acting industries that people kind of got ripped off from back then. They would just take anyone on, say you need really hectic photos, which you do to a certain extent, but like charge you like a wounded bull, no communication. And that wounded me. I was like, oh, it's not for me, it's not for me. Let it go. Fast forward again, years went on, got into the corporate roles, all these different things. In about, I was always aware of it, but in about 2018, I believe it was, I signed up with a talent agency again and thought I'd just give it another go. I went in for an audition. I did an audition for like Paul's Milk and I performed it for the talent agent and he quite liked it and he said, oh, there could be something there. So I did a bit of extras work for a couple of different things and it was great. And I did a couple of little extras jobs, which was fun. And then I got a small extras job for an airline at that time. And it took a very long time for us to get paid and it was just awkward. And I canned it. I was like, look, it's not for me. Didn't get paid. It was weird. It was a very long day. The production weren't very caring of their talent, which is another thing to be mindful of. And I let it go again. I just let it fall by the wayside. I said, don't worry about it. Haven't heard from you. Forget it. Fast forward until 2021. This is when it all kicked off again. In 2021, I was with my beautiful mother. We were up in Mount Tambourine. We had a weekend away for a family friend's birthday, and we were in this antique shop. And Mum and I, we did love to go. She loves going shopping. I like just pottering along with her, looking at things, having a chat. We're just kind of similar like that. I don't like shopping and buying stuff, but I like hanging out with her. Anyway, beside the point. We're there, right? We're in this antique shop. We're just walking around. You know that feeling you get when you feel like someone's watching you. And I was like, I feel like someone's watching you. Then there was this old lady at the other end of the shop looking at me. And I was like, okay. And I kind of just smiled at her, kept doing my thing. And then she came around the corner, looking at me again. And I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of strange. Then she just comes right up to me and says, young man, you should be an actor. You should be on film and TV. And I was like, oh, that's very kind. That's very flattering. Thank you very much. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe, who knows? I mean, I've had a go before, but no, not for me. And she's like, and I walk away. She comes back around. Seriously, you should be on film and TV. I'm telling you, you must. And I'm like, oh, that's very kind. It's very kind. She's like, I'm serious. You should do it. And Mum's there. She's like, oh, yes, he's very, yeah. And then I didn't think much of it, but she did it again. She did it about 3 or 4 times. Kept telling me, you should be on film and TV. Very politely said, thank you. That's very kind. That week, I signed up with another agent. And within a week, and this can be sometimes unheard of, I got a national speaking role for a TV commercial. And that was one of the biggest boosts that I was like, maybe there's something in this for me. And time progressed. I've done different small feature films, many different TVCs, other different things. I won't go into the details of the jobs that I've done, but there's probably around, I'll confirm, but 50 to 60 maybe more over those from 2018 to about now. And in later videos, I go into all the different things that I have done. And this is where I'm at right now. I am with an incredible agent. We've been doing some amazing auditions, and I've auditioned for some amazing productions. There were some productions that I've missed out on. There's been productions that I was just obsessed with getting the role and I missed out on. There's other things that have been going on, but I'm currently in the journey right now where I've got some irons in the fire with some auditions that I've done. I'm constantly applying for jobs every single day as a self-managed and as a talent with an agent at the same time. And I'm on this mission, and where I'm looking to go with all of that said, I am on this mission to be established. And I totally understand that with actors, you're constantly working for the next job. But there's definitely a difference between being established and being fully recognized and working and auditioning for roles and being, no one basically knows who you are, which is basically where I'm at. And the mission, being honest and transparent, is the big goal for me, and I'll explain why, is a beautiful TV series in Australia, and one great one would be Home and Away. And the reason it would be Home and Away because it's beach themed. There looks like there's some wonderful cast on there. It's got a great history, and that would allow me to work consistently every day. That would allow me to be a great public figure in Australia, and I'm going to share as to why that's a beautiful goal that I have. I can still be in Australia. I can still surf. I can still be by the beach. Full stop. That is the key thing. It's consistent work, being in Australia, and being by the beach, and doing all the things that I love. That is the key goal. And when someone, I suppose, has the dream or desire to become an actor, some people might think you just want to be famous, or you just want to do this, or you just want to do that. The best way that I could describe it so it makes sense is that there's always been this deep part of me that loves to just perform and loves to just put this energy out there. And whether it's speaking or it is acting, it just feels like this deep thing that is a part of me to do in life. So my heart is alluring me towards it. And the beauty and the intention that I have as well is that actors have different ways of behaving and their mindsets and whatever that they do. But my mission, that if it is part of my soul's journey, when I believe it is, to become this and have this bigger profile, then my massive mission is to use this big speaker to share positivity, to share the importance of self-care, to share these wonderful messages of going after your goals, being your best self, being kind to self, being kind to others, all these different things, really using it as a voice for good, using a profile as a voice for something positive. And I've always had strong boundaries with my work, and I'll share some of those for you. I don't ever want to do anything to do with gambling, to do with alcohol, and I refuse to do any intimacy scenes or kissing scenes or anything like that because I do not want that jeopardizing my relationship for whatever degree. And that's just a boundary that I have, and I will always keep that because I think once you give these things away, you can't take them back. And I'm not here to sell my soul. So that gives you an insight as to the mission, as to a little bit of background into myself. And forgive me if I'm looking down, I'm just reading my notes just to make sure I don't miss anything. This is all one cut, this is all one take, this is raw, this is real, this is unfiltered. I just want to make sure I've got everything. Where I am, where I'm planning to go, and what I'm looking to share. This video right now is just an introduction into what this is all going to be about. And I'm going to be posting videos weekly. And some of these videos might be on the key things to remember when you're just starting out, for example, or here's the most embarrassing audition story, or here's where I missed out on a big break, or here's my biggest break to date. And there's going to be some things that I'm allowed to share and some things that I'm not. There's going to be some productions that are very confidential. There's going to be some productions that are public and that are open that I can share. And it's a massive leap of faith in what I'm doing. And I don't know where it's going to go. And going into this, I get the odd job here or there, sometimes a bigger TV commercial, something like that, but they're few and far between. Luckily, before I moved into this, I banked up income and money to be able to financially support myself whilst I'm going through this journey for a period of time, but it's not a bottomless pit, you know, like I'm really, really pushing myself to have a great go at this. And I'd love for this to be the documented journey along the way. And if you're here from this video and you're here to the end, or whatever it might be, like, I got the job, woohoo, then how exciting would that be? But at the end of the day, I'm here to share this journey if you're interested in what it might be like going through this journey to becoming an actor, into becoming a recognized, respected, consistently working, established actor and in Australia. I'll quickly share the desires for me to go to the Oscars to be Tom Cruise or any of these other guys is zero. I have no desires for accolades or awards. Whilst they might be nice and recognize that I did a good job, it's not there. I've been to LA, I've felt the energy there, not for me. So the thing is for me is being established and just working in Australia, being a positive voice for good, being able to spread positivity and good energy out there, to tell stories, to entertain and to support, and to be a part of the beautiful creative industry, which can be beautiful. It has its dark sides, so does everywhere, but it does have its dark sides to navigate. But I am out here to be a voice for good and to shine a light of brightness and kindness for others, to show that it can be a great industry to be in, to be a part of. This is video number 1. Again, my name is James Carson. If you have any questions or anything that you want me to cover in the next video, please leave them in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe, to like whatever you like. There's no pressure, of course. I mean, I'm very grateful for whatever comes through. And I have no idea where this is going to go, but I'm just having a red hot crack. And that's basically been my motto for a lot of my life, and it served me pretty well. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next video, my friend. Have a great day.